Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. We have a lot to talk about. And I do believe that this video is going to be a little bit controversial. I hope that it's not. I don't like to talk about politics all that much. But the big question is, are we being deceived? And in my opinion, I do believe that we are, and we're going to be addressing it. We're going to be talking about it, going in depth on it. So let's dive on in. Back in May of 2023, so pretty much a year ago now, I said that I think crypto is going to be a very big political argument point. I also believe at some point it could make or break campaign performances. Now, why did I put this out? Why did I believe this? Well, it was because of Operation Choke Point 2.0. I knew then, and I know now, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows now, how big of a deal it is to be pro or anti-crypto. And I even think now with Elizabeth Warren and Johnny Deaton, it is extremely clear. But now we are starting to see major pivoting happen. I said politicians are now pivoting heavy on crypto because they realize how big this industry is and will become. Now, as you guys do probably already know, May 21st, Trump Make America Great Again 2024, May 21st, 2024, President Donald J. Trump campaign now accepting crypto, first major party nominee to do so. You can't afford to not be a part of this Discord. You need to join the free Discord down in the description below, as well as in the comments below right now, to get ahead of the rest of the market with 24/7, 365 access to information around crypto, including insights, trades, altcoin gems, you name it. You need to be a part of this Discord. So what are you waiting for? Click the link down in the description below, as well as in the comments below, to join today. And again, is this like a huge deal? Is this like massive or so? In my opinion, all we're now seeing is crypto being leveraged as a major thing to gain voters or not. And this is something that I was aware of. And it's not me being like, oh, hey, look, I know everything. No, it's just the fact that now we are starting to see it full bloom, right? And as we look at this, right, does it mean that Trump is pro-crypto? Well, we know that from this, we got President Biden. The administration says that it's eager to work with Congress to create balanced regulatory framework for digital assets. Now, over here, we have President Biden will not veto FIT 21 crypto bill if passed today. And you know what's funny about this? Okay, so we got this passed, right? The FIT 21 crypto bill got passed. But this is so funny because, for the last couple years, there has been zero movement at all on a regulatory framework for crypto. In fact, the president hasn't stepped in at all to even say like, oh, hey, we know that the SEC is causing a ton of regulatory damages to not only crypto, but also to retail investors. Maybe this should stop, right? Like maybe we should intervene. But guess what? Nothing happened. But all of a sudden now, because it's election year and we have, Trump embracing crypto, now Biden has to jump on the bandwagon. And we already know that Biden was a major player in the Operation Choke Point 2.0 narrative. So it's definitely funny that this is happening now. But also, Trump continues on. Donald Trump says he is very positive and open-minded to cryptocurrency companies. Our country must be the leader in the field. And this is what he said. I'm very positive and open-minded to cryptocurrency companies and all things related to this new and burgeoning industry. Our country must be the leader in the field. There is no second place. Crooked Joe Biden, on the other hand, the worst president in the history of our country, wants it to die a slow and painful death. That will never happen with me. So again, you can kind of see the leveraging of crypto in the argument just to kind of gain some voters. I think the last time that we looked at statistics, it was anywhere between like 50 to 80 some million individuals in the US that actually own crypto. So you could tell how big of a deal this actually is. Now, also over here from Good Morning Crypto, we have breaking: Donald Trump states, I will ensure that the future of crypto and Bitcoin will be made in the USA. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I didn't know that we needed to have, self-custody supported. I thought that self-custody was pretty much self-custody, but hey, it is what it is, right? And I think that a lot of people weren't even talking about that. They were like, that's such a very odd sentence because, self-custody is a right that we have. Them saying that, oh, hey, we will support it means they could essentially take self-custody away from us tomorrow, right? But this is confirmation that crypto is here to stay in the USA. And if you guys want to listen closely to it, you guys are more than welcome to.
I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
So there you guys have it. And again, the big issue that we have with this entire statement, right, is that it's not just about the crypto thing, Bitcoin, but it's also about CBDCs. Now, we're going to talk about that. We're going to address that. Over here, we have from 2019. All right. This is July of 2019. These things you can't take back. Okay. It's not all of a sudden like, oh, hey, let me flip on crypto. Let me pivot on crypto. It came at a time where he obviously saw that the Biden admin was very anti-crypto. So he believes that this is going to gain voters, and it definitely will. Listen, regardless of how you really kind of twist this, I think that it's great, but how sincere is this? How serious is this, right? We don't know. Now, has Donald Trump, delivered in the past? 100%. But there's also a lot of things that, he has done that is very questionable in terms of promises and also under delivering on those promises. But regardless, here we have, I'm not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity. Similarly, Facebook's Libras, which we already know that is pretty much dead, virtual currency will have little standing or dependability. If Facebook and other companies want to become a bank, they must seek a new banking charter and become subject to all banking regulations, just like other banks, both national and international. We have only one real currency in the USA, and it is stronger than ever, both dependable and reliable. It is by far the most dominant currency anywhere in the world, and it will always stay that way, and it is called the United States dollar. And again, this is what he's going to focus on regardless of how anyone wants to twist this. The US dollar is obviously going to be the focus of any president, but beyond that, right, the big thing that I want to say here is this is all pertaining back to what Elizabeth Warren has said multiple times. And again, this is from Donald Trump himself. And now all of a sudden he's pivoting. The question is why? Well, it's election year. They have to get voters, right? Even the CBDC narrative is concerning to me because the whole idea that, oh, we'll get rid of a CBDC, we'll never have a CBDC, it's ridiculous. We're going to talk about that here in a second, but remember that Donald Trump continued to cash in on his NFTs. We know this. We've talked about this in the past. So this was before he even flipped on, crypto. I think that this was back in it was almost like the end of 2022 when we saw this. Everyone was very bullish on it. But regardless, this was it was just pretty much a stunt to gain money. It was basically just making money off of these NFTs that his supporters bought into. And then there's also like a mugshot NFT. I think that was more so like around like 2023. But regardless, like that's the end of that, right? Like that's like the main thing that he has done around crypto. But now he's full on supporting crypto, going all in on the crypto narrative. And I feel as though it is just to really kind of gain some voters. Do I still think he's anti-crypto? We don't know, right? It obviously could have changed. But this I will never forget about, right? Because this is a full-on anti-crypto stance. Now, in terms of a CBDC, do I think that he is legit when it comes to a CBDC? No, I don't believe so. Remember that the president only has so much power. For the most part, presidents are puppets in disguise. They have a full team behind them. They have people that actually run the show. There's also branches of government that make the major decisions where the president pretty much has to sign off on. Now, outside of that, right, we do know that there was a recent ban of a CBDC creation by the US House. Again, this still needs to be fully signed into law, but this was a big one, right? Everyone thought, all right, no more CBDC. The gist of this is that the CBDC definition is not clear. They banned the idea of a CBDC in definition, but the definition, it's not clear at all. So as we do look at that, right? Trump vowing to fight a central bank digital currency and keep crypto independent is huge. It's great, but it's just words on paper right now. It's just words that he said out loud. When it comes to a CBDC, how do we know that anything around what the US House is doing or even the president is doing around the CBDC, how do we know that it's just an empty promise? Well, it's because we know, and this is from the World Economic Forum, on April 16th of this year, modernizing financial markets with wholesale central bank digital currency. Over 98% of the global economy's central banks are researching, piloting, and deploying central bank digital currencies. It doesn't have to be a CBDC in technical wording. It could be anything. It could be a digital dollar for all we know, but it will still act as a CBDC. But it just won't be called a CBDC. That's why I said, you know, what the US House did, it wasn't really anything. They just banned the word CBDC essentially from what the Fed will do. They could still launch a programmable stablecoin. They could launch pretty much anything. But we know already that almost the entire world is working on a CBDC. And even when it comes to the US, guys, look at the US. There's 4 major projects that they're actually working on. And this actually breaks down everything in terms of the actual timeline. And we even know that the Federal Reserve and the Biden admin have shown interest in a digital dollar. We also know that Trump was looking into a digital dollar as well while in office. So I think that it's interesting that he's now saying like, oh, we're going to get rid of a CBDC. They know that we, as the retail sector, don't like CBDCs. They know that we, as crypto investors, don't like Elizabeth Warren. So now they're just force feeding us what we want to hear. Don't buy into nonsense. Don't get deceived. But as we do look at what's happening right now, like the entire world is moving on to CBDC. Are we just going to say, oh yeah, the US is not going to do a CBDC? What's going to be the use of the dollar outside of the US? There won't be any use of the physical dollar if every other nation is going digital. Now, we're still some years away from everything being fully mass adopted around CBDCs and things like that. But we already know that multiple CBDCs have launched. If we go back over here, 3 have launched already. And it's only a matter of time until more and more launch. We already know that the US dollar has been losing dominance globally around trade. We know that there's a lot of major changes happening around specific nations. For an example, we'll just talk about the BRICS. They are moving heavily on digital currencies, even backed by gold. So what is the US going to do? Just sit around saying like, oh yeah, the US dollar is still as strong as ever, when we know that it's not. And also remember, right, as we look at what Trump is inheriting in terms of, our economy, if he does win, our economy is at that point in time where it's either 1, we're going to crash, or 2, we're going into hyperinflation. Which one is worse, right? You kind of have to juggle both of them. So either way, he's getting an economy that there's really no turning back. There's only 2 options, and those are the 2 options. Now, either one of those scenarios will still lead us to a CBDC because it's leading us to a full reset. And we know that this has been the plan since day one. I see so many people saying like, oh, well, Trump's going to get into office and instantly kill any sort of motive with this. Well, in order for him to do that, he would have to kill like over what 98% of the other, economies are doing, which I find very, very impossible. But who knows? Let's see what happens. I'm not political. I don't really care about, red or blue. I've always talked about it on this channel as a major diversion. It's also a thing that's divide and conquer. It's the oldest mechanism in the book. So, I'm not really political. Let's see what happens. But in my opinion, I do believe that a lot of people are being deceived by what's being pushed out there because, again, it's election year. They have to get voters. And the best way to do that is feeding into the millions and millions of crypto holders within the US. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord on the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.